This is the plaintiff, Sean McDermott. He says he ordered and paid for a custom fish tank from the defendant's aquarium business, and the guy botched that job. The tank was supposed to be 180 gallons with specific measurements to fit into a cabinet, and not only is the thing the wrong size, it leaks. He thinks the defendant got in over his head with this job. He refuses to do business with him anymore and is suing for the $4,231.18 he's owed. This is the defendant, Orion Devine. He says he was hired to deliver a 180-gallon fish tank, and that's just what he delivered. There were no instructions whatsoever regarding the dimensions of the tank or any talk of having it fit into a cabinet. Now the louse is claiming the tank is cracked? Preposterous. He thinks the plaintiff cracked it and is now just trying to pass the blame along to him. He's accused of being fishy.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff ordered a custom fish tank from the defendant. The guy didn't get the size right and it leaked to boot. But the defendant says he did the job right. It's the case of glug, glug, glug. Now pay up, bub.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. McDermott, you are suing A Tropical Reef Incorporated for $4,231.18 in expenses that you incurred on a tank that you ordered from them that you say has been defective all along. Tell me what's going on.
Basically, I tried to surprise my wife with a new aquarium for her birthday.
You had an old aquarium, and that aquarium was what kind of aquarium?
It was a 180-gallon bow-front aquarium.
Okay, by bow front, it means it comes out like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so you decide on a new aquarium for her birthday. Her birthday's the end of May. The aquarium does not come in the end of May.
Correct.
All right, what exactly did you order? Do you have the paperwork from what you ordered? And the only thing I've seen is an email that says 180-gallon bow front.
Right.
Is there something more than that with more specifics or height, size, width? Because you can have 180 gallons like this, or you can have 180 gallons like this. 180 gallons is volume, not measurements.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
is there anything other than this, which I've seen?
It was written on a torn-up piece of notebook paper. I asked him to email me everything that we discussed, and he said he would send it to me, and that's what I received in my email.
Okay, but this doesn't have dimensions, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you draw out on a piece of note paper any dimensions?
There was no need to,
Why not?
because he wanted a 180-gallon bow front, and I happened to have one right in the shop. So he said, I would like that tank there. We made that tank there. So the dimensions came
Okay,
off
you had
of...
seen one at the shop, and you said you wanted that one that looked like that, right?
No, ma'am. I saw that one, and I told him I had one at my house already, and it was taller than that one. And when we were negotiating, I told him I was looking to upgrade. I have a 180-gallon.
So let me see if I got this straight. You're in the shop, you see one, you say, I'd like one like that. He goes, I'll make you one like that. You say, I'd like one like that, but taller. It's very important that it be taller because mine is taller. And so it's all about the height, and then that's what's not in the paperwork.
Correct.
Well, that's ridiculous on both your parts, not just one of your parts. So you order the tank, you get this that says nothing other than that it's 180 gallons, and what happens?
I received an email stating that the tank was ready.
Okay, and how long later was that?
11 weeks.
Okay, so it's past birthday.
May 22nd.
Oh, it's before birthday. Okay.
Just before birthday.
And then what happens?
Contacted the cabinet maker.
The only thing I'm sure about in this case is your wife's birthday.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Contact
Awesome.
the cabinet maker because they had to wait for this to be done in order to make sure everything blends perfectly in the building of the cabinet.
Correct. Everything's custom. The tank was custom. The stand had to be made custom. So
Okay.
everything was built around this tank. 'Cause he
So
sh-
what happens? You get the tank, and what's the problem?
It's too short by the time I got it home.
Okay, and what do you mean too short by the time you got it home? Did it shrink? What do you mean by that?
It's too short compared to my old tank.
Right, so it's just, it's not as high as you'd like it to be. Not it's too short for the stand or the woodworking around it or anything else. It's just not as tall, 29 inches high versus 24 inches high, right?
Correct.
As you'd like it to be. All right. So that's your problem. And let me see the pictures. That's the two tanks next to each other, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Which tank? Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Which one is yours? The one on the left or the one on the right?
The new one is on the left.
Okay, so the one on the right is your tank?
The old tank, yes.
The old tank. And the one on the left is the one that got built. And this one feels to you like it has more front space. Well, it's taller, so
It's taller.
you like the look, is what I'm trying to say, of it being taller and a bigger window. Is this one longer?
They're the same dimensions except for the height. So I did find several manufacturers that make 180-gallon aquariums that are bow front aquariums.
So your objection is it's not tall enough, and you have a second objection, which is it's not 180 gallons.
Correct.
All right. Does he tell you that this isn't 180 gallons?
After he fully plumbed it, set it up, put water, sand, rock in it, whatever else, scratched it up, weeks after he's had it, messing with his stand guy and whoever else helped him out, after, according to him, that I didn't supply him with proper guidelines or instructions, anything else like that, it is now too short.
Okay. Too short, I don't really care about. That's on him. Because if he wants it a specific height, he should make sure that the paperwork says I wanted a specific height.
Right.
All he asked for was 180 gallons. 180 gallons? That's on you.
It's a 180-gallon bow front, which is industry standard, which was in my shop.
Right, which means what?
Which means the tank is 72 by 24 by 24. Industry standard goes by the dimensions. It doesn't equal in gallons. They don't make bow front 180s anymore, and so every single 180 that I could find is all 24 inches in height.
Well, you know, when you sell a guy something that says 180 tank, what exactly did you think the guy thought he was buying? The only specification he has is 180. Whose fault is that if you're the industry guy and you can't sell him a 180?
I actually found Tsunami posted on one of their websites, and it's less than 100.
And these are all brands of tanks, right?
Yes.
And the exact dimensions would be a 170. Would only allow for 170 gallons. Now, at some point, you decide, well, let me fill it up with water and sand and figure out what's going to happen, right?
No, actually, I called to meet with Tim, Orion's
Tim
father.
is who to you, Orion? Your father?
My father, yes.
Okay, go ahead. Are they here?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
We met at the shop. I said, how do you want to handle this situation? He's like, it's a 180-gallon tank. I said, all right, I'm going to go home and fill it up with a water meter. And if it's not 180 gallons, are you going to remake me the tank for the same cost? He said, yes.
Meaning you wouldn't be out any more money if it wasn't an actual 180 gallon. So there's no talk from Tim at the point that, well, 180, it doesn't really mean 180, it means 170.
So the guy installs it, scratches it, and then after the fact realizes it's not a 180-gallon tank. Does he get his money back?
I don't think so. It's too late.
Too late? But he didn't really realize it.
No, I think he should get his money back, and he's also inconvenienced now, so I think he should
But
definitely.
then the guy's getting a return and it's scratched.
That's their mistake. It's the part of doing business.
Going inside the courtroom.
So you go home, and how do you measure the water?
I used a water meter, and I checked the accuracy with a 5-gallon
How
bucket.
many gallons did it fit?
120.
Total?
Yes.
All right. Now, this is the same width as your last one,
Yes.
but 5 inches shorter.
Yes.
Okay. So you were pretty confident this wasn't going to be close to 180.
Correct.
All right.
So I assumed that I was stuck with the tank because
Where was the tank at this point?
at my house, the cabinet maker was there finishing everything, and then water was seen coming out the front of the aquarium, out of the back of the
You have
aquarium.
a statement from the cabinet maker saying that he saw it leaking?
No.
Okay. And water was leaking. Did you video that?
I did not video it. I called Tim at a tropical reef and asked him how much time I had, and he said, you
How
need to
much
get
time you had for what?
if it was going to burst or what was going to happen.
Oh,
And he
okay.
said, get the water out of there immediately because it's going to burst in your house.
Okay. So then what happened?
So I drained it, took all the fish back out. He came the next day and picked it up, put it in the back of his truck.
Okay. So Tim takes it, and then what happens? Well,
ta-
actually, you tell me. Tim takes the tank, and then what happens?
We take the tank because Sean claimed that the tank was cracked by his stand guy when they were altering the stand.
Okay. Let me tell you watch this. Did you say that your stand guy cracked the tank?
No.
So he tells you that the stand guy broke it? I'm having trouble with that. You have any witnesses to that? I'm going to take your silence as a no.
No.
All right. Did you guys ever, when the tank was in your possession, attempt to see how many gallons?
The tank was never in my possession.
Well, it could have been. You sold it to him, you know.
I did sell it to him.
Right.
And my tank builder is not
And
open
when
to the public.
Tim's your dad, right?
Tim is my dad, yes.
And when Tim picks it up, it's in your possession, right? I mean,
It goes on the truck and then went right back to the tank builder.
okay, so did any of you, at any point in time, avail yourselves of the opportunity to figure out how many gallons a tank actually fit?
No.
That'll cost you. I have one guarantee in my invoice, and that's that I bought a 180-gallon tank. I've got only one party measuring how much water fits in the tank, and it's not close to 170. At the end of the day, he has the one thing that you didn't do, 180 gallons. And it's not, well, industry standards can say it's lower. Okay, industry standards can say it's 170. It's not 170 either. So even if I go by what you're saying, it's still woefully too small for what we've got. So no, this is on you and not on him. On his claim against you, I am finding in his favor in the amount of the $4,231.18. Now I need you to understand what's about to happen, okay? All the stuff that you have belongs to them. We're gonna make arrangements for you to get that stuff back. And good luck to both of you.
So the plaintiff prevails. He will get his money. The defendant's just come out of the courtroom. You know, the judge said when you didn't measure the capacity of the tank, that's what kind of killed you.
Yeah.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
Did you realize what happened at that moment?
Well, basically, just say if you were to go buy a new car or something like that,
Yeah.
you're not, Mercedes says this, you're not going to disagree with Mercedes, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he ordered a 180-gallon tank, and you didn't.
He
really
ordered a
measure it.
180 bow front tank. The invoice states 180. It doesn't say gallons. It was for the dimensions of 72 by 24 by 24.
I know. We've heard a lot about that. Anyway, bottom line, you said you never measured it. That was your problem.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay, it
Thank
cost you. All righty, here comes Mr. McDermott. You put a lot of money in these fish tanks. You know, what's the difference between a bow front? A lot of people don't understand that. Explain bow front.
Yeah, my wife likes the bow front because of the curved front.
It bows out a little bit.
Correct.
And it makes the fish look different when they swim by, right?
It's just a little different.
A little
Something different.
magnify.
Yes.
Right? What kind of fish do you put in the tank?
They're freshwater fish right now.
Okay,
Yes, sir. But eventually we like to put salt water in there.
very good. You happy? You okay now?
I am.
Good enough. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very much. Okay. Harvey, what do you think?
You know, Doug, you got to be so specific when you order custom items. At the very least, get drawings, and the best thing is a picture with a description of exactly what you're ordering. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.